Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
All right, what's up? What's up? How's it going?
Not too much going on except for the Cartoon Network upfronts.
I'm so excited!
I know. And let me just pull up the press release.
Oh, I want to take a look at that too.
Do you want me to send you a link?
Yes, please.
All right. But, basically it's basically pilots we've already seen are now getting shows like Craig of the Creek, Infinity Train, Victor and Valentino.
Oh my gosh, those last two though, man. I'm so excited.
Mhm.
And I mean, even then, like I went back to Apple and Onion
Mhm.
since they already have a few episodes on the app, and I was actually pleasantly surprised.
I know a lot of people have been saying Apple and Onion's been average, and I only saw the beginning of the pilot, but I thought it could have potential. Like, it's weird. I remember this YouTuber I talk to once in a while, um Johnson O'Daypool. If he watches this video, he said he thought that Apple and Onion was like an average version of regular show.
That sounds about right, but I don't really see anything bad with that. I mean, I was expecting it to be bad, like legit bad, and I feel bad for thinking that, but
Hmm.
I'm glad I was pleasantly surprised and proven wrong.
Yeah, and also Apple and Onion was one of the shows that was put up for a series. I mean, see here, it says that like I knew it was coming, I just didn't know when exactly. The press release says that new episodes are coming back to back every Friday through the end of March.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's kind of why on the app you can, if you connect your cable service to it, you can already start watching some of them. I think I watched like two. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so far from what I said, like I did see a promo which I did a trailer reaction to where I believe was it Apple coming to town for the first time and he keeps going, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what's that?" And
Oh, yeah. That was what ended up being the first episode.
yeah, and then he put like ice cream on this bacon character,
Well,
which I thought was kind of clever.
a part of me was extremely confused. And up to that point, I was still kind of skeptical. But by the end of the episode, seeing what they did with the story that they started off, I was quite happy. Because they could have easily turned it into one of those situations where the two guys are just so clueless that they even, end up offending a lot of people and then don't do anything about it. But no, these guys you could tell are legitimately nice guys, and you know what? They're a little clueless, but hey, it's fun seeing what kind of adventures it gets them into and how they manage to fix everything by the end.
Yeah, I don't think we need a Cartoon Network's version of Pickle and Peanut.
oh, oh gosh. How about no?
Yeah, it's good that they didn't. This is something more that we want to see from Cartoon Network.
Yeah, and I mean, if they were going for something wholesome, which is understandable to some extent, I think I'd be very happy with this if that's what they were going for.
Right.
You
So,
know, you know, instead of going some route like going with another type of show with a similar vibe like Teen Titans goes like, oh yeah, because it's very neutral. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
really?
I'm really glad that like it seems like Cartoon Network is realizing after the failures they had with the Powerpuff Girls and Ben 10 reboot, they're starting to realize, "Oh, this is not what our audience wants. They want to watch shows like, the ones they announced."
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't absolutely have to be like that. Like, you can try new things or you can try simpler things, but just make sure they're good. You know,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
is it really that hard?
I mean, kids don't just like to watch like really like crazy stupid things. They have brains too. I mean,
That's true. That's true. But if that's what you're giving the majority of the people access to, and you're not balancing out the different kinds of shows you have, eh,
Yeah.
that's when it
So,
becomes a problem.
hmm so yeah, I'm just thinking maybe the Cartoon Network president Christina Miller has finally come to her senses.
No, no, and I am very glad to see this shift in Cartoon Network. Sadly, and I would like to point this out, I found a post that Cartoon Network had shared with pictures from the upfronts that are coming up. They're Victor and Valentino, Infinity Train, Apple and Onion, uh, Summer Camp Island, I think it was called.
Which I don't know too much. Like, it's probably the show I know the least about on this list.
I looked at it a while before it was formally announced, and there was why do I feel? Oh, Craig of the Creek. Of course, how could I forget Craig of the Creek?
That's like one of the
Last
more
but definitely
popular
not least.
ones.
Uh, what I found out and why I'm mentioning this post though, as soon as I went into the comments, the first one I saw, the latest one that was posted before me, because I ended up commenting on that post as well, was complaining about how cartoons aren't what they used to be like back in the golden age, and I'm
Ah,
just here like, man, do you notice what kind of predicament we just got ourselves out of? You know,
exactly.
like this is amazing right now. Like I'm so happy, I cannot believe it. And you're here talking about how it's not like what um, Dexter's Laboratory or Johnny Bravo or any of those old school shows, which, let me clarify, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. In fact, they're really good shows. But that doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it right. Even right
Exactly.
now, we have a lot of good examples of good shows, but just because a lot of people are grown up, it's not what they're used to, it's different. They're like,
Remember the 90s? Those were so amazing.
I know. And not to mention that these same people, which I'm a part of because I just barely made it for that. We also got to see what the Dark Ages looked like too.
Hmm
So we should not be complaining about something like this because this is an
Yeah,
awesome lineup.
especially, people can
Absolutely.
say, oh, it's not as good, but I'll give it a shot. But to say, hey, oh, it's not what it used to be. Like, I don't want to see Cartoon Network just become, like, like, I know they brought back, like, the original Teen Titans and a couple other shows, but I'm just like, yeah, it's great, but, I'm really up for something new, especially since, we're coming off of, you know, shows like Steven Universe and Star vs. Forces of Evil, which those were definitely not around when we were kids, and they're new shows, but they're still really amazing.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's
and I mean, I think I told you this before. I don't think I got to share this with our audience though, but I strongly believe that things need to be let go, even when they're good. You know, you got to make room for new stuff, and we have kids coming in and they're going to grow up with different things than we did, and that's perfectly okay.
hmm
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If
yeah,
you want to add some of the stuff you grew up with for them, that's cool too, but that doesn't have to be the only thing that they find out, you
yeah.
know?
I think that's like a perfect clarification of what we mean when we say Cartoon Network has to change, because um like I get the feeling like we're not trying to say all we want is like shows that are just meant for like the adults and the
Oh,
90s kids.
absolutely not. And we're not just seeing that either, Like we're seeing some things that are pretty well oriented towards kids.
Exactly.
And that's what we gotta see, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, uh, Disney XD. first and foremost, they're for the kids, and we got to keep that in
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Exactly. I mean, and even like, it's funny, like for people out there that, oh, cartoons have to be strictly for kids. It's like, you do realize even like some of the shows we grew up with, there's, like adult jokes that we don't get until much later, like in the Powerpuff Girls, for instance.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. Um, Here's the thing. That doesn't mean again, and I think this is something that it's so hard to click together because you kind of get confused between one or the other. You can't. A lot of people can't really put the two ideas together. Um, Kids are also smart, and then they also have parents who sometimes they want to spend time with the kids, and the kids will tell them, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, let's watch TV together." And you know what? What they want to watch, they're going to want to watch cartoons.
Exactly. Kind of brings the whole family in. I think that's a big part of why, like when I was a kid, my dad would actually like join us to watch like the Powerpuff Girls and Avatar.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I can't say I've had that much of kind of like an experience. Like usually I was on my own watching TV,
Mm,
but definitely, like it doesn't mean that parents can't enjoy their shows along with their kids.
yeah. Although granted, I did try to show like my dad a couple images of Star, and he thinks Marco's the main character.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Those same kids can come back to the shows that they grew up with, and
Hmm.
if you do it right, they can come back to the show and find an entirely different way to enjoy what they grew up with. And it'll be like growing up with it all over again.
Yeah, or pretty much feeling like you start to understand, what is, like the artist or creator, what are they trying to get across.
Yeah,
Like the funny thing
exactly.
is, before this chat, I was actually talking with my sister, Penny, about Dr. Seuss, and we actually realized that several of Seuss's stories were actually like a political metaphors. Like, did you actually know, the story Yerda the Turtle?
I think I have heard that story.
My sister found out it was actually supposed to be like a metaphor for Hitler.
What the
Because you
heck?
have this like very proud, pretentious turtle, and he just likes to sit at the top of his, tower of turtles, and then one turtle on the bottom sneezes, and he comes crumbling down.
Oh my gosh.
And then
That's
another
trippy.
example is with the Sneetches. That was actually do you remember that story, the Sneetches, the one with the creatures with these stars on their bellies?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I didn't really read it properly, but I think I've heard of it.
Yeah,
And I
that
got
was
to see like some
actually
pictures.
apparently Seuss wrote it as a stance against anti-Semitism.
Oh my gosh.
See? Yeah, adults write these stories, not just kids.
Yeah, and even with that, like you go like, "Oh, Dr. Seuss is it's kids books. Yay, huh?" And then you realize Dr. Seuss didn't really even want to write for kids.
I think in the case of these stories, it's just the fact that Dr. Seuss, American adult. Of course, he's gonna have some things to say rather than just writing rhyming stories for kids. Like some of his like ideologies will come across in his book.
Yeah.
And
Or
here's
like,
a could I throw in another one?
sure.
He actually like Seuss actually used to I don't want to like take it out of context, but like in the case of Horton Hears a Who, that was actually him writing about his stance against the Japanese internment.
What the heck?
Yeah. So again, we were able to, like at least I don't know. Did you read Dr. Seuss that much when you were younger?
I think I did, but I don't really remember very much.
Because I used to check out his books all the time from like my elementary school library, and it's so weird how like as a kid I was able to get the really simple story and the rhymes, and now growing up and realize, oh yeah, an adult, who follows politics wrote these stories. So of course a lot of
Oh
these
yeah.
ideas come
I mean,
across.
something as simple as like the Lorax, which was very, very straightforward. I had a lot of friends, and they were all, they were like already in high school. I had one friend in particular who, when the story came back, she looked back at the book and she was extremely surprised and had apparently such a history with the story that she remembers asking her mom very serious questions, um, particularly about the Onceler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the message that it had in the original book was so profound. She just kind of like took it in, and it even followed her through high school. And
Mm-hmm.
she remembered, if I'm retelling this correctly, asking her mom why you never saw the face of the Onceler.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom was like, "Oh, well, he's very ashamed. He did something extremely bad, and the consequences were drastic, you
Yeah.
know." And to be telling something like that, to a kid, I mean, not bad, but definitely something a little hard to swallow, especially at a young age. And you're just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Even those kind, even like with the more upfront kind of books, it was like still very deep messages.
Yeah. Although, in my opinion, the idea of the once were, the reason we don't see his face is kind of similar to Doug Walker's idea in that he's supposed to represent how this kind of a, catastrophe could happen to anyone, you know?
That's true. That's the other thing too. The person is going to be ashamed, and then adding to it, you get the sense of just how it can happen to anyone. It
Mm-hmm.
could be you doing the things that the Onceler is so ashamed of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, only because it's very easy to fall into things like, greed and, mass production and things like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm
Man, I
actually,
can't believe we got onto this. Um, whew, back on the topic.
yeah, but I still think, it proves a point.
Yes.
So, but I don't know, because we already kind of like encompassed how we feel. We're excited for many of these shows. The only one I'm not sure about is Summer Camp Island, which I just looked up and I don't really like the art style.
Aw, well, it's definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely different. I'll say that. I'm not one easily put off by visual designs
Mm-hmm.
or very vibrant colors. Apparently, so I don't really mind it, but I can understand. I know a lot of people tend to have problems looking back at stuff like this and be like, "Oh, the colors are so vibrant." I had a friend say that about Steven Universe, and I just looked at him like, "Are you serious, man?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're complaining about?"
Well, in my case, like art style, it's kind of a thing where like, what is the aesthetic? Like it's a very first impression things to that. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into art style than just that. Usually with shows, if I don't am not interested in the art style, I usually still give them a chance. Like I did that with Problem Solvers. Remember that?
Oh, oh my gosh,
Yeah, I couldn't take it after like the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
dang! But I definitely enjoyed the premise. Like I got to see the first episode, and what I remember, the main thing is that we have this island full of kids, right? We have absolutely no idea where their parents are.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And then
okay.
that's the question, like, what the heck is going on? Like, why are these kids alone on an island
Mm-hmm.
with no parents? Why don't they know where they are?
So that's basically it. They're just hanging around an island.
I think so,
Hmm.
from what I remember.
What exactly do they do?
You don't get to see much of it in the pilot. The main thing I remember is two characters. One is a hedgehog,
Yes, I heard.
and the other one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I want to say it's an elephant. um, and they basically plan a sleepover kind of party.
Mm-hmm.
And the main reason they're doing it is because they want to kind of forget that they're in a situation that they're very confused about. And going back onto that, like as they talk about why they're planning the party, they we kind of get the exposition of what they're doing, where they are, like what place they are located in, and what is their situation. So they talk about how like they're like, okay, don't worry about this. We don't have to think about where our parents are or whatever. It's cool. We'll just have a cool time and we'll pretend everything's normal. Yay!
Okay. I don't know. I'm
That
really
was.
trying to get invested in the idea. Like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this, so maybe.
I'm doing a horrible job of explaining it. I would definitely say check out the pilot,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll understand that. I don't know if I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and I'm here telling you that it's easy to pick up from the pilot. But I think it's a case like with you and Apple and Onion, where I just see potential with this. I'm not really sure where they're going with it, but I'm willing to see where.
Right. Although,
Yeah.
to be fair, I do have, a lot of faith in Apple and Onion. I just need to see more episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, heck, you could probably do it right now if you got access to the app.
Yeah, well, I have
Well,
midterms
later.
coming
I mean,
up
not
next
right now.
week,
I mean, that would be
so
a long time. But yeah, go check it out. It's cool.
yeah.
Do the thing.
Maybe if I've got
CN app, not sponsored.
well, maybe if I have time, maybe later tonight I'll try to check it out.
Yay!
But is there
Okay.
anything else? I mean, Victor Valentino. You're excited.
Oh
I
my
really like the
gosh.
pilot for Victor Valentino.
Oh, I love the pilot. It gives me shivers every time I watch it. Especially that ending. I can't say what it is, but oh my god, that ending.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I'll say right now, I have a bit of bias only because I love Day of the Dead, and Sugar Skulls.
Mm-hmm.
And not the way they incorporated the concepts in this show just feel, I don't know, they feel genuine and kind of like their own thing. Like it's not, oh hey, let's just make Dia de los Muertos a
Mm-hmm.
TV show. No, no, absolutely not. It's like, oh, how do you even explain it? It's like you make it into an adventure, and you kind of mix different types of like kind of like feels, because you got like kind of the whole magic aspect. You got kind of like the rule aspect, which I guess I don't, I feel like it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's one of the parts that really makes it genuine, because it's kind of like the whole idea that they have where, oh, Mexico, man, it's all desert, and then you go into the center of Mexico, which is like where most of my relatives are from, and you see a lot of green and water and plants. And I think a lot of people don't realize a lot of agriculture goes on around there.
Mm-hmm. Gabby? Uh-oh.
And I want to go see what kind of adventures they get themselves into. And that little Chihuahua guy. Oh my gosh. He is so sassy, but I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I'm just rambling on here. Don't mind me.
I know, it's totally cool. At
Uh,
least we're staying on topic.
um, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else that we probably should point out
I
about Victor and
mean,
Valentino?
I don't really know because I thought the short was, kind of fun. I mean, the comedy was, cool, but I don't really know what else to say other than, I'm excited what to see. I mean, the only complaint I have is why the hell the Cartoon Network put that pilot out at 6 in the morning that one time.
Yeah.
But that's more Cartoon Network's fault than the short, obviously.
Right, right. And I mean, I'm looking on I'm looking at the link that you sent me. I do not recognize this guy's name, but apparently the guy behind Victor and Valentino is his name is Diego Molano. I
Um,
don't really recognize the name, but I'm gonna try to figure. I'm gonna commit it to memory
let's see.
and figure
Oh,
out
that's a good
where,
start. He
where he
worked
kind of
on.
started off.
Let's see. He worked in the art department for the Powerpuff Girls reboot, which okay. He was a back. It gets better.
I'm not gonna let.
It gets
Okay,
better. He worked as a background
okay.
designer on OKKO.
Hey, all right, I like that. That's freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And even then, what I'm going to say about the Powerpuff Girls reboot, I don't want to kind of say that any of the people on that crew really did anything bad.
For me, like the art department is the lesser of the PPG Boots crimes, in my opinion. Like to me, it's just the writing only because the jokes were really bad and it was really inconsistent at times.
Yeah, I think more than anything, what happened was just like they got all these cool people, but then I guess they couldn't figure out what to do with them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna look at that show as its own thing. Like I'm not gonna connect anyone or from the crew to that show. Like we're just gonna push that over to the side, kind of like okay, whatever. Don't need to slap that onto anything. Nobody is probably proud of that from what I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
um. Oh man. Okay. And let's see. Craig of the Creek. Craig of the Creek. I already heard somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what they did, but I know the person behind Craig of the Creek was also
Worked on
kind
Steven
of working.
Universe, right?
Yeah. And I feel like they were even doing something on OKKO too, but I'm not sure. I may
Let me
be
double
wrong.
check. Let's see.
Yeah.
Because I think it even says in the press release, yeah, Emmy nominated Steven Universe writers Matt Burnett and Ben Levin.
Nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and
See, an episode is available on the
oh,
Cartoon Network app right now, with new episodes debuting linearly on March 30th. Which could I just throw in something for
yes.
all the cartoon channels in general? I really hate it whenever when they release new episodes like online first and then TV thereafter. I mean, I don't know. I just haven't been.
Really?
find it unfair.
I don't know. I kind of make very good use of that.
And I'm just like, if you're gonna put it online first, then what's the point of like, making a debut on TV? Like you know how the new Star episode came out today with Eclipse's trial?
Yeah.
I saw frickin' screenshots from that thing at like midnight, like because it was on the Disney XD app first, and it. I'm just like, if you're gonna put it online and people are gonna be spreading it, then what's the point of watching it on TV then?
Well, that's the thing. We still gonna have the people who are used to doing it on TV still. You know that I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's a good way to kind of like spread out the influx of viewers, because we have all these people that are desperate to start watching the episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these guys have to deal with leaking, or some sort of thing happening where the episode is taken from them and placed on the internet, without their permission.
Yeah.
So hey, you know what? You don't have to do that. There's no need for it, guys. Don't worry. You can go watch it already if you really want to that badly.
Right.
I mean, I will still say we should not push these guys to pump out work faster, mainly because I'm worried that the work isn't going to be as good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just me, but
no, I feel the same way.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like how they're addressing the situation. So, thumbs up from me. I'm a go with it.
Yeah, I don't. In this case, since it's just the first episode, I don't mind that as much. I'm just talking about the regular episodes, like when they get more of a schedule.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. I feel like the only other show left is Infinity Train, which is easily the one that everyone's excited for the most.
And how do you even talk about that show? Like, is there anything that needs to be said? Like, oh my gosh, the pilot in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I first saw that pilot when Cartoon Network was really like trying to drill in Steven Universe. So to see a pilot that has a good sense of humor and it has a sense of adventure, I'm just like, hey, this could be like Cartoon Network's version of Gravity Falls,
Oh yeah, and I remember I remember just how it was sort of nonchalantly kind of just like slipped into social media. Mainly was when I was receiving a lot more notifications from the Cartoon Network page, though I still try to keep up to date. I don't know why, but I don't get as many notifications as I would like. But I'm just like, what is this? I just click on it, and boom, that was it. I finished the pilot, and I'm like, why isn't there more?
Mm-hmm.
And just like a week after or so, maybe like a few days after, it starts going all over the internet like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, they have to do something with this. They have to.
Yeah, and leading up to this, like, there were like YouTubers like Velasquez who heard rumors that there's like a 99% chance that Infinity Train was going to become a full-length series.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would be extremely upset if it didn't. Though I was also hearing, I don't remember exactly who. But it was a YouTuber I follow. Oh man, I can't. Oh, let me see if I can find that out real quick. They were basically talking about how they thought it would be better in the hands of of someone like Netflix. I think the one I'm talking about is a video made by the Crimson Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the title is Why Infinity Train Should Not Be on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And I thought their idea had some merit, but man, I don't care. I'm going to say I still don't see this as a problem, even though I can tell what they're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
because I still feel like Cartoon Network can do a good job with the show.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping to see what they do with it. I don't know if this is going to kind of push more, how should you say, more, like, I don't know if I should say streaming services to kind of come up with their own stuff. I mean, I know already places like Cartoon Hangover or Netflix are coming up with their own stuff, though very slowly and not as frequently as, say, Cartoon Network or Disney XD. But yeah, they're starting to pick up the pace too.
Yeah, definitely. And also, just to point out, not everybody uses Netflix. Like, as for me, I tried using it, but it didn't have many movies that I liked.
Wow, I definitely do. I've seen a bunch of stuff off of
Hmm.
Netflix.
But because I know like Steven has said, oh, Netflix is more of a TV thing, even though I'm not very interested in many Netflix shows. But I mean, like if you try looking up like Blade Runner or Schindler's List on Netflix, you're not gonna find anything. They'll just tell you, oh, just get it on DVD from us.
Yeah, but then you also have other places where you can do find specific things. Like when I have a particular movie that I want to watch, and it's not already on some sort of streaming service, I look it
Hmm.
up on Amazon and see if you can rent it.
Yeah, I mean the way I do it is either through places like Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play. I'm still one of those people that likes to rent only because the streaming services don't have everything I want to watch.
Yeah, exactly. I can definitely understand that. I mean, particularly, my thing isn't that I find myself frequently avoiding streaming services. In fact, I do use them a lot to find new things.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do have like a particular thing I'm looking for, they tend to be movies or shows that don't really get around a lot unless it's something like Cartoon Network. So I'm just like, oh man. So that's when I usually end up looking for stuff like box sets or DVDs or something. I'm if I like something good, well enough, I'm more likely than not find myself a physical copy of it.
Mm, I see. Oh my God. We're kind of going off again.
Oh, I know, yeah.
But I don't know. Is
Gosh.
there really anything else? Like, let me see. Returning series, Adventure Time, Ben 10,
Uh, I,
OKKO, Steven Universe.
I'm good with OKKO, and I'm definitely happy to see Steven Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let's see.
I'm still waiting to make sense of what they're doing with Adventure Time.
Because isn't like
I
this
don't know
season
what to
their
think of it.
last?
Yeah, so I'm guessing they're kind of like taking their time releasing the episodes, but I'm really not sensing very much a sense of closure. I'm not saying the episodes aren't good, that's for sure, but I'm just kind of like, are we gonna end on a cliffhanger or something?
I don't know. You would have to tell me because I don't follow Adventure Time.
Oh man, I mean, it's like with each episode that they release, especially the ones that they've done recently,
Mm-hmm.
um, relatively recently because it wasn't even that recently.
Right.
Um, you kind of end the episode and you're like, huh. Are we going into another story? Is something big happening? I have absolutely no idea. I'm confused. But I'm excited to see what they do with it. And even if they end on a cliffhanger, I don't think I'll be angry. I think I'll just kind of probably be a little sad that we're not getting more.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think the problem is Cartoon Network's advertising?
How so?
Because I've been hearing people say that they're not being told when the new episodes are coming out. Like Paleo Steno was saying that, and I don't know. That's just
I
what
can
I heard.
kind of see that, especially with Adventure Time. You kind of have to really look for information, or else you could kind of miss it, and you won't know when the new episodes are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other than that, though, I don't really see much of a problem.
I mean, how often do you see ads for Adventure Time compared to like OKKO and Teen Titans Go?
Probably not as much, but the other thing is that they still sort of use them for general posts as far as on their Facebook page from what I've noticed.
Hmm.
The main thing you don't see is a lot of new stuff coming out specifically.
Yeah.
They're mainly like references to older things or throwbacks. Like I think they did something for Throwback Thursday where it was like from one of the older episodes.
Right.
But yeah, I mean you can't really ask them to be to be showing a lot of ads for Adventure Time, especially since they're not really doing much with Adventure Time. You know,
Mm.
like uh, they've already aired a lot of the seasons. Well, all of the previous seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They're obviously not planning to really do any kind of reruns in particular. You don't really see them on the channel or on the schedule.
Right.
And they have a lot of the old episodes just kind of like roaming around on the app, so it's just kind of like, you can go check that out. There's really nothing to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. I don't know. It is a shame that it doesn't sound like it's gonna get like a big finale it deserves.
And I mean, you can't even expect them to be doing too much as far as box sets, since they already did that for the longest time. They would release entire seasons on box set.
Mm-hmm.
So, nay, it's not really big news either if they were doing something like that. I mean, I would definitely want to know, but it's just kind of like, oh, hey, okay, now we're expecting it. It's been done.
I see. Well, I don't know. It's still kind of sad though.
It is absolutely sad, and I sound all neutral and kind of just like not caring about it, but I'm legit sad. Like I don't want to see it go.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Adventure Time, even though I jumped on the bandwagon a little late. Well, pretty late. Like it was like on its
Right.
seventh season when I started watching. And oh man, it was a ride,
Yeah, I know.
and oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And now it's like I just started getting into it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's already ending? What? No.
Guess time just goes too fast when you're grown up. Just to recap, I mean, shows coming back like OKKO, Steven Universe, Gumball,
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls 2016, and oh no, you know what I just found out?
What?
It says here that the Powerpuff Girls reboot, it says they're going to be having new episodes, events, and products that will continue into 2019.
Why?
I don't know. The ratings are saying otherwise.
Okay, and here's the other thing. What do you think of Unikitty?
I mean, I've heard people say it's alright. I mean, I've yet to check it out. But it's a show I'd give a chance.
I have absolutely no idea what to think of it. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's particularly good. I'm just baffled that they decided to make a show out of this character.
I'm honestly not too surprised.
It seems so random to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, I actually got to see a few episodes of it here and there. And I'm like, why? I guess part of me is just sort of kind of like realizing that there are other people who are watching this kind of stuff. Because, I mean, I know I talk about we have to be aware of this, but it's a little hard even for me to keep in mind. So I'm going to guess this is just a matter of, hey, you know what? The kids really liked the Lego movie. We should probably do something with that for them.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, even Darren Nefsey has been, like, gushing over the show on her Instagram.
Oh, I imagine. It looks like she would particularly enjoy it. So, I will say this, it's extremely cute. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love that. And then the kind of like how they mix in like her other kind of like emotions, you know, like you don't just have her always happy, kind of like giddy and everything's all right. You kind of also get her kind of like angry and you know, kind of rugged even, like she's a little bit of a tough kid. So I could definitely see why someone like Darren Nefsey would enjoy it.
Right.
So, yay! Yay!
Alright, and then other shows coming back. The only other one is We Bare Bears.
We Bare Bears is awesome. I actually need to catch up with We Bare Bears, but I definitely am glad to see them still coming out with new episodes.
Right. So I think that's about it as far as the upfront.
Oh!
What?
I see something on the Steven Universe podcast.
Oh, wait.
Heck yeah! I actually followed that for a while. It was really good.
I follow more the show rather than the podcast. But...
Oh, well, I do both.
I figured.
And it's really cool. They have do you know who MK Atwood is?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, she's this awesome person who's like on YouTube as well, and they do a lot of kind of videos using Steven Universe graphics and making like memes and stuff. It's hilarious. I love it. And they're in charge of the podcast. They're the person who's like interviewing everyone on there, and they get some of the coolest people on there too. Like even Rebecca Sugar's been on there, and it's just awesome. I want to hear more. Yay. Woot! Little shout out right there, I guess.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I feel like that's about it, at least as far as the stuff that we're interested in.
Yay! I'm so super happy and excited. I can't wait to see what's coming and how it's gonna be. And my heart is so set on Victor and Valentino and Infinity Train coming up because I can't wait. I can't wait. I just can't. So excited.
I guess for me,
that
this upfront, it's kind of like one big buffet where it's like I just want to try, everything and then see what.
That too. Like everything seems very interesting. And I'm excited to see how it all comes out.
Yeah, I think the only new show that I'm kind of about is Summer Camp Island. But other than that, everything else looks pretty cool.
I'm still, excuse me, still curious to see what's going to happen with that, because I want to see where they go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Where does a show like this go? I want to see. I'm curious.
Yeah. So, I mean, all right. I feel like that's about it, Gabby. So,
All right.
Yeah.
I had so much fun talking about all this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
So yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm sorry about that spoiler freak out. I'll tell you what it was in
Okay.
Facebook.
No worries.
Messenger after
I'm
the chat.
so glad I got to join you.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much fun coming on here. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, Gabby.
All right, then.
Yep, I guess I'll see you later.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.